All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, Gary Antuanne Russell has some words for Terence Crawford ahead of his fight with Canelo Alvarez, and we're going to talk about it in this video because it's very, very similar to the advice that was given to Terence Crawford when he fought Errol Spence Jr. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be talking about Gary Antuanne Russell, Terence Crawford, and Canelo Alvarez. And I am going to put a warning in the beginning of this video that I am going to, for the remaining 4 weeks that we have left until this fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, I am going to try my absolute best to be positive about this fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. For me, and I'm telling you, if Victor Conte did not exist and he was not near boxing, I could close my eyes and act like there's nothing out there that I needed to worry about. This fight is going to be up and up, completely fair, without a doubt. But it's very hard for me to get my mind around that while Victor Conte is still running his mouth about Terence Crawford's tests and VADA and inserting himself into this fight when he has a terrible reputation, and not one that I have to be forgiving of. The whole idea that I have to look at Victor Conte and give him a second chance is ridiculous. If somebody else wants to give him a second chance, that's their prerogative. I can look at the man really, really funny and continue to look at him funny, and anything that he touches, in my opinion, is suspect. And it should be suspect to anybody that is watching sports that knows and experienced what happened with him and Balco, what happened with him and Marion Jones, what happened to him and Barry Bonds, and all of the names and the athletes that were destroyed because of what this man did. Now, me and what they did as well. Right? And none of this is accusations. This is all stuff that has been admitted to and we know to be the case. But for some reason, I have to forget about that when I look at what's going on with Canelo and Terence. It's very difficult for me to do. But I'm going to do it for the next 4 weeks because, hey, man, it's a big fight that's going to be made. It's here. It's going to be September 13th. So, hey, man, might as well get my boxing fix off on this fight, right? So here we go. Gary Antuanne Russell gave his opinion about the Terence Crawford-Canelo Alvarez fight, and I thought that his opinion was very, very astute. Basically, what he said is that you have two different types of fighters, right? You have a black fighter, very rhythmic type of fighter. Canelo Alvarez is a Mexican Latino fighter. They have their own unique style, and that, Canelo Alvarez has really mastered that style for himself. And he said that Terence Crawford is what he calls sneaky good, or what he said, amazingly good, and as far as his skill sets and the things that he's able to achieve. However, that the big test for Terence Crawford is going to be what kind of shape is he in? Is he going to be able to move, box, stay on the outside, score points against Canelo Alvarez, while Canelo Alvarez is definitely going to be trying to cut the ring off on him, get close, and land something really big on Terence Crawford. Now, that's the exact same advice that was given to Terence Crawford by Gary Russell Jr. when he was saying about the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight. Now, as we saw in that fight, that advice wasn't really needed, because Terence Crawford's physical strength was so superior to Errol Spence Jr.'s in that fight night that it looked like a man versus a boy type of situation, something that nobody had expected. Even though many people had speculated that Errol Spence was depleted in the lead up to that fight. Regardless, Terence Crawford put on a performance that nobody expected. So is this going to happen against Canelo Alvarez as well. Is he going to do what people don't think he's going to do, which is stand there with Canelo and then land really big, heavy shots on Canelo that wobble Canelo, knock him back? He was so strong against Errol Spence that he literally knocked Errol Spence Jr. down with jabs. So is his strength going to be increased to the point where he can hurt and buzz Terence Crawford with jabs? Or is it going to slow him down, or he can harm Canelo Alvarez with jabs? Or is it going to slow him down and make him lethargic and make him more apt to get connected with by Canelo Alvarez? Now, in the fight that Canelo Alvarez had against the last time Canelo fought against a 154-pounder, it was Jermell Charlo, and Jermell Charlo had bulked up to get to a higher weight against Canelo, and that did not end very well for Jermell, because as soon as Jermell felt that power and got dropped one time, after that he was like, nah, this is not going to work. This is an entirely different beast. And Jermell Charlo is not somebody that, I don't believe that Jermell Charlo had been dropped before, unless it was some kind of like slippage or something like that. But I don't think Jermell is somebody that is known to have a weak chin, and he was still checked very heavily by Canelo Alvarez. So as far as the comparison made or the analysis made by Gary Antuanne Russell, I think that it is pretty much spot on, except for I just suspect that Terence Crawford is going to come in and fight more like he did with Errol Spence Jr. He's going to sit down on his punches because he believes in his punching power. The only question is one that lands, if it doesn't hurt Canelo, and if something lands on him and it hurts him, then you're going to have a skating rink type of fight for a while, because I do not believe Terence Crawford is going to jump up in there and really try to lay it on the line and go balls to the walls with Canelo Alvarez. That would probably be one of the dumbest things that he possibly could do, and it probably will not happen. But at the end of the day, though, I am going to sit back and I'm going to try to enjoy this fight. I am a fan of Canelo Alvarez. I know Canelo Alvarez popped dirty early in his career, has not popped dirty since then. It's still kind of hard for me to fathom that he's a clean fighter once he pops. And just like it's hard for me to consider anybody really a clean fighter that I know is that in bed with Victor Conte. If there are people that are just wearing a snack shirt or a snack hat for a little bit of money or whatever that he gives you, I separate those two things versus somebody that is affirmatively working with this man in order to put on a lot of muscle, in order to move up basically 20 pounds in a 2-year period of time. It's just very, very hard for me to fathom that while Victor Conte is the person working with him. Now, if it was somebody who was working for Terence Crawford that didn't have anything to do with Victor Conte, and then it would be like, okay, I can speculate, but there's nothing hard, firm right there where you're like, hold on, why are you dealing with this guy? But anyway, I'm going to try my absolute best to enjoy the 4 weeks lead up into this fight. I don't think that there's much of an undercard to this fight at all. So that's not anything to anybody that's really going to be a big deal. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.